here, and today we're taking a look at Newage Darius, their take on a Legend scale Galvatron. Before we do though, just want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching these, it really means a lot to me. And if you're new to my channel, thanks for dropping by. Hit the subscribe button, and if you value the review, if you enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button as well. Okay, here we go. So for accessories, you don't get a massive amount with this set, but you do get the things that you expect with Galvatron. You've got a blaster, which is not massively sculpted. It's very minimal, but it is painted. It does look okay, and it sits just fine in the hand. You've got a couple of extra faces. One is a sort of disgusted kind of downward mouth kind of face, and then one's a kind of like a sneering kind of arrogant laugh. Really well sculpted, beautifully painted. I mean, Newage do very good face sculpts, definitely. You've got additional hands, 2 splayed out hands, and then 2 pointy fingers, and these are really easy to apply. It's just a plug-in kind of mechanism. Goes in just fine, and they look good, to be honest. They do add a little bit to the figure if you want to do different things with it. You've also got a matrix, which is plastic. It's got silver paint, gold paint, and a translucent bit, which is it's clear on this side, but then it's painted on the rear side, which is kind of weird. But there you go. The only kind of gripe with this is just the way that the chain goes through the thing. It hangs on the end there, so when it's around his neck, it kind of sits like that, which I think is a little bit weird. It looks more like a sort of big gold chain rather than the matrix, and what I mean by that is I've got the fans toys here. You know, ideally it should go like that, and it would look nicer and sit nicer. Mine are kind of gribble, to be honest. So yeah, not a massive amount of accessories with this, given the price point as well. But the things that are there are done really well. A couple of little niggles with it. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Decent set, but not a showstopper. Put it that way. Okay, so the head's on a ball, and we'll obviously spin all the way around with that. It's got a decent look down, but not really much of a look up. It's kind of hindered a little bit at the back there. The shoulders are on a ball peg, so can spin all the way around, and they can extend out to the side. And this has a tendency to pop out actually on both sides. I'll come on to that later. But it can do the full range of motion there. Elbows have got a double, and that's pretty good. You've obviously got a bicep swivel as well, and the wrists can rotate due to the way that they kind of peg in. Down at the waist, you've got a waist swivel, and you can kind of untab things if you want. It's a transformation joint that for an ab crunch, but it is there. Down at the legs, little hip skirts at the sides. You've got ball pegs for the hip joints. Obviously they can go all directions, fully outwards. The knees, you've got multiple knees. You've got one down here and then one up here due to the transformation. So if you kind of want the kneecap thing to move in a certain way, you can do. It's pretty good, that actually. Down at the feet, you've got an ankle rocker. It's pretty decent, and you've also got a toe tilt as well, and a little bit of forward and backwards. So all round, he's got brilliant posability, to be honest. A couple of minor little points, but generally very, very good. So 9 out of 10. So the paint on this figure is absolutely brilliant. It's so well done. It's incredible. Top-notch stuff. It's like masterpiece quality at its best, done in Legend scale. There's a couple of unpainted pieces, the legs down here and the hips, elbows, and then the top of the cannon. But this is done in, you know, it's really high-grade plastic with a nice finish on it, so you probably wouldn't even tell. The rest of it is just immaculately well painted. It's got a nice kind of metallic sheen to it. You've got accented bits, silvery bits like the legs, you know, here on the midriff where you'd expect, and the kind of neck collar. The face is really well done, not a blemish in sight. Awesome stuff all round. The plastic is really good, super solid stuff. I actually thought there was a bit of die cast down here on the legs, but I don't think there is. It's just that it's that kind of solid plastic with good paint. It kind of fools you into thinking that. So yeah, really good quality in that respect. There are a couple of gripes with this, quality-wise, and I could have put this in the transformation, but I think it probably goes here, to be honest, because it's visible and noticeable in bot mode. And that's these bits on the side. it just untabs here where it should clip in, and you should be able to extend the arm without the midriff or side of the torso kind of coming unpegged, and it's true on both sides there. So a little bit unfortunate. And then the other thing is it's kind of a hang up from the transformation. They've done that little sliding pin thing that was present on Scaramanga, their version of Soundwave. It was more prominent on that, but you do have to do it on this if you want to transform it properly. You know, move this arm on this little tiny pin here. You do it once and it pretty much becomes very kind of loose once you've done it, which it's more prominent actually on the Canon arm. Now then, it will still hold in place, but it's just something you notice as you pick it up and handle it. Kind of like loose kind of elbows, loose kind of forearms, I should say. So yeah, there's that, and then there's this. Other than that though, the quality is outstanding. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 just on that basis, but generally very good stuff. So in terms of presents, he's got absolute bags of it. It's a really stunning looking figure. It's one of those you pick up the box and you just go kind of wow. I mean, proper walk off the screen stuff in terms of the proportions, the look, the sculpt, just really brilliant stuff. Really clean from all sides, and yeah, just exceptional really. The back sort of armature thing, I think they've dealt with really well, better than a certain masterpiece Galvatron, which I'll bring in a second, which I think is really impressive. You know, the engineering that these guys do at this scale, I think is just phenomenal stuff. In terms of the face sculpt, just a little minor niggle for me. I think the nose is a little bit too wide. It's not something you can kind of pick up on from a distance because it's unmistakably good and it's unmistakably Galvatron. But up close, he does look a little bit wide there in the nose. Just a minor kind of niggle there for me. The colour is more on the purple side, so I think this is kind of like it's more the cartoon kind of purple as opposed to the movie. And in fact, we'll bring him in now just as a kind of reference point. Look at that. It's so this is the movie repaint of Fans Toys. Sorry, my mind's gone. Fans Toys. Oh god, it's really gone. What's he called? Bloody hell, Sovereign. Wow, long week. Sorry. So yeah, so you can see this is the more purpley shade as opposed to the movie purple shade. Really, it's interesting actually looking at these two, just how similar in look they are. This is like mini Fans Toys. It's quite incredible actually. And I'll just scooch this guy around just to show you what I mean on the armature there at the back. Apologies for the wobbly camera. You can see the Newage has dealt with all the stuff in what I think is just a more clean kind of way. Interesting point to note there. But yeah, presence absolutely superb. Couple of little niggles, but wow, just brilliant stuff. I'm going to give it 10 because he really does look so good. So for comparisons, here he is next to Magic Square's Space Skimming, their version of Cyclonus, who I have to say does not look as good as he once did next to Newage's take on Galvatron here. Yeah, I think Newage need to get their finger out and do their own version of Cyclonus, and a Scourge as well. So there we go. There is that. And I will say actually, this is a very good figure. It is a very good figure. It's just compared to this, it's not quite as good. But there we go. My thoughts. And here he is next to Newage Agamemnon, their version of Megatron, and Newage Lucifer, their Starscream mold. Just brilliant. They look absolutely fantastic. Newage makes such bloody good looking figures. They really do. So yeah, I just thought a nice little comparison there. There we go. So I'm just going to caveat this section by saying that whoever is the designer for Newage, whether it's a person or a team, I think they're absolute geniuses, and I've pretty much got all of Newage figures. I think I'm only missing Cosmos, so I've got all of them, and they're so clever, so ingenious. What they do at this particular scale, brilliant, just outstanding stuff. Now then, this figure, Darius, I think is probably at the lower end of transformation design, if that makes any sense, for Newage, which is still, to be honest, it's a lot higher than other companies. But that being said, it's not as wow as other Newage figures. It's still very good. It's still very clever, but I think there's just a little thing about payoff with this figure. There are a couple of little niggles. So the way that these tab into the sides is very much similar to bot mode. You've got these little tabs that kind of come out to secure this, but they just don't secure it in any particular way. And then there are a couple of bits where it just feels almost kind of thrown together for alt mode. So it's got the Newage ingeniousness, the cleverness, but it's just not got the ultimate payoff, which we'll talk about a little bit in alt mode. But in general, it works, it's smooth, it's intuitive, and actually it's pretty fun, to be honest. It is pretty fun. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. So the alt mode is, it's all right. It is only all right. And it's a shame actually, because as I said in the transformation, there are complex kind of moves and things that they've just done brilliantly and in a fun kind of intuitive way, but it doesn't quite get there. It doesn't go the full mile into getting to a good alt mode for Galvatron. And it's just little things that kind of, it almost breaks the suspension of disbelief. It's like, you know, the feet poking out the side, and you can kind of fold these up, but it's still unmistakably feet. It's very unclean from lots of angles. You've got the fists kind of poking up here, and I know, you know, at the scale you can be a bit more forgiving. It's just that I think Newage, I've seen examples where they've done so much better, and I think that's probably it. You know, they're kind of a victim of their own success, and in particular with the price point of this being a little bit higher, you expect a little bit more, frankly, or I did anyway. So yeah, it's a little bit of an underwhelming alt mode. It is very good, and it's unmistakably Galvatron. Good things are that they've managed to, you know, create this kind of effect, you know, unfold all this out from the backpack, and some bits do look very nice. It's just got a few unconvincing bits in it, to be honest. So it's not the best, but it is decent, and I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. So there we have it. Adding it all together, he gets a final score of 8.2 out of 10. And this is a brilliant looking figure. It looks absolutely sensational in bot mode. The finish, the quality, the cleanliness, the sculpt, it is really, really good stuff. I think there are a couple of niggles in terms of the way things tab together, a little bit unfortunate, and the accessories, and in particular the alt mode, are a little bit lackluster as well, particularly at the price point. And I think that's probably the biggest issue with this figure, because this was £50 including shipping, and I feel like you should get more. You should get more for your money. I think that's it's a little bit of a thing with this, because I came into the Legends thing last year with the Soundwave figures, and I was new to it, and people were complaining about the £35 price mark, and I didn't mind, to be honest, because I was so blown away by what was being produced and what was on offer, and it put a lot of bigger scale figures to shame. But it goes up a notch again to £45, and then another 5 for shipping, so 50 in total. And I think that's kind of pushing it, to be honest. But having said that, as a collector, I can honestly say I'm really happy with this. As a Galvatron, it is sensational looking. I just think you should get more for what you should get more for your money. But there we go, final thoughts. Anyway, I hope that's been useful. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching. Take care, please subscribe, and bye for now.